I'm Nick J. Townsend. Welcome to another episode of Clingfilm, the series. How swiftly the weeks fly. Have we got a show for you tonight? That was, of course, a rhetorical question. This episode has got more bite to it than Count Gummula. We investigate Hollywood. This series is produced by Debbie Stewart in Moffat Scotland. And she's reminded me to say that she does all the work and I should really give her more credit because what I do isn't actually talent at all. And she sends us to Los Angeles to interview some amazing future celebrities, and if there's an award out there for professionalism, talent and sophistication, then one of them will probably present it one day. We hear their stories and try and decide if these people are making the right career choices. Ladies and gentlemen, with guests like these, it gives a whole new meaning to the word available.
Where you guys are from, acting is thought of as an art form. So if at a young age you tell your teacher, your mom, or whomever that you want to be an actor, then they make sure that you get the training so you have a depth of character, so that you understand what being an actor means. A lot of times, and not for all of us, but a lot of times, someone at an early age is told, oh my gosh, you're really pretty, you should be an actor. And there gets to be this disconnect from the truth of what acting is. Acting doesn't mean you're the prettiest person from your town. Acting means that you have an understanding, an ability to portray characters. And that doesn't mean you're like Johnny Depp type characters. You can just be a normal person. But a normal person with a camera being shoved in your face to convey to the camera lens and then eventually to the audience that what you say and what you feel is truth.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. And that's why I think that a lot of great roles go to UK, British, European actors, because they do come from a basis of teaching, of knowledge, rather than, oh my gosh, you're pretty. I mean, when you think of Benedict Cumberbatch, you don't think, man, he's handsome. You think, god dang, that guy can act.
Most people in England are fucking ugly. I've actually come here as one of the ugliest and I feel beautiful. So I think that's the reason why, yeah. So really, to make it in Hollywood, you gotta be English and ugly. So
yeah, now if you could be a ridiculously attractive Englishman that also can act, I think the rest of us would just give up.
Well, I started playing music when I was about 7 years old. I started off in violin and then guitar, and
that's quite early, 7 years old.
Yeah, there's a lot of musicians in my family, and then I just continued doing that, and then learning guitar, and then I learned an instrument called a mandolin, and then lap steel guitar, and just I played a lot of music. So I moved out here, started going to performing arts school for music, and got to play in a bunch of bands, and then started acting.
What kind of success have you had then since you've started your change?
You know, when I moved here, it was kind of a big Latin boom, and since I'm Hispanic, I'm also Native American, I kind of just started working right away. I started doing commercials right away, and started guest starring on a lot of TV shows. I was on a bunch of shows on like Nickelodeon and Disney, and that kind of got the ball rolling, and it just started working constantly, and been very fortunate to be able to make a career out of that. I've done over 40, well, almost 50 movies and TV shows.
You kind of moved away from music then?
Yeah, absolutely, because I got to be in a bunch of cool bands, got to do a bunch of really cool things. I spent 2 summers on tour with Lynyrd Skynyrd, opening up for them. I mean, Taylor Swift, the Black Crowes, ZZ Top, a lot of big bands I got to tour and open up for, and
Was that like part of that national tours, or just like in Los Angeles area?
no, around the country.
Oh, so you've done the whole east to west then?
And it was, and you know, it's just so hard to make money doing that, and I was having a lot of fortune and luck with acting, and I was like, screw that, so I'm gonna focus on acting, and that's really where my love is anyway.
When I met Mike, obviously, actually the first time I met him before we started the band, we shook hands, and I noticed that he was missing his finger, but you don't want to like call him out on that. So as we got to be better friends, we're like, you know, he told me the story, and you know, we've been asked so many times that we started making up all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, sort of.
He lost it in a gambling bet, which the
Shark attacks my finger.
the radio DJ was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I had a bad gambling problem, and the bookie took my finger," and we didn't even tell him we were bullshitting him, but Mike got a bit off in a shark attack. Mm-hmm. I cut it off. There's video of that on the web where I cut off Mike's finger. That got us banned from YouTube. But the real story is that, you know, when I met him, he was missing his finger, and I just started calling him, "Oh, hey, Mr. Ninefinger." And luckily, Mike's a good sport. I was like, "Let's call the band Ninefinger." He's like, "Well, I don't know." And I said, "Bud,
I was kind of
you're the singer.
Yeah.
You got a great story."
I was kind of opposed to it, but then it just kind of caught.
Yeah. Luckily, Mike's very humble as a lead singer. He's a pleasure to work with, and he's the one with the missing finger and had to go through it. And let me name the band Ninefinger. Thank you, buddy.
It was part of our original mission statement with the business that we really wanted to provide a place that would be a sort of hub and focal point for the music community, particularly on the west side, because we'd noticed that was something that was really quite lacking, and the music scene was very unfocused. So that was there. It was in the original mission statement. We wanted to provide more than just rehearsal space to people. We wanted to provide a means for people to connect with one another, find musicians to play with, cooperate on shows, try and actually like build something together, support other businesses in the area as well, and try and help them out. When we first moved here in 2007, we didn't know a soul. We didn't have a contact here. We didn't have any friends here.
It's quite a gamble as well.
We started totally from scratch, and it was a huge gamble because there's so many unknown factors when you try to start up a business in a city that you really don't know about. So it was something we had to figure out completely from a standing start, and there was certain things we definitely were aware that like all we could do is the best we can on the information that we've got, and some of that was definitely, we knew it was a roll of the dice.
Thank you for bringing this over from the UK.
So,
Nick, this is awesome, because I still haven't got a copy.
This is something you've been involved in, Dark Universe, yeah? How long ago was that you filmed?
Oh, that was, I guess over 2 years. It was a while back, and then it was released in foreign countries that I don't really know where they were, but I got fans from those foreign countries, I know that. And then this will be the first copy that I get, I guess two and a half years later. But yeah, it was fun. It was my dream role.
Well, I haven't watched it because I didn't want to remove the cellophane. I thought you should have the right to do that, sir.
Like your Christmas present.
Well, kind of,
awesome.
Except we're on the beach. These kind of opportunities, do they come fairly often, would you say, for you?
It's very sporadic, because you'll get some jobs that'll work a couple weeks at a time, and then after that it's like everyone else, you're trying to look for more work. It's kind of like you're unemployed. So at that point it's like, okay, what's next? And then the kicker to that is you might get 3 people that want to hire you on the same day, but you can only be one place at one time, so you miss out on other opportunities. So you have to be selective, or you have to, whoever books you first and stuff. So it's always a hustle, and always you never know what's gonna happen the next day, and I think that's sort of the draw to it. It's never boring, I'll give it that. Yeah.
Venice Beach has brought in all sorts of new regulations to control the type of businesses in the area. One of the things they've been very down on is music venues, which I think is really unfortunate because, of course, LA has a lot of history with music. The Hollywood scene and all that has a sort of lot of history with rock music, obviously. It's always been an expensive area, but the price of rent has gone up and up and up on a really steady incline to the point where the majority of musicians, even those who are quite successful, are struggling to afford the rent. So obviously the cost is part of it. And I also think the nature of the West Side has changed tremendously. Santa Monica, Venice, Malibu, these places were known as sort of mellow, beachy places. They were surf towns, skating, music, art. These are what these parts of town are known for. And of course, there was a big West Side punk scene. Big punk scene focused around Venice Beach and that sort of area. So there's a lot of history there, but unfortunately that's just what it is now, it's history. Big corporate businesses have purchased a lot of properties in the Santa Monica and Venice Beach areas. Now these were very small business orientated areas before, but now it's losing all of its character, and unfortunately the people that are moving in, that are coming in with these big corporations, and also these big new expensive apartment blocks that are being built everywhere, that's bringing a certain type of people into the area, and unfortunately those people, quite a lot of them, are actually looking down upon the sort of the small businesses and the artists and the skaters and what you could call the indigenous people of the West Side, because whatever reasons, you know.
What really sets people apart in this town are the people that are really willing to work hard. I see people get into town all the time because I live in like the West Hollywood area, and there's always moving trucks pulling up to apartment buildings, and you see these fresh young faces, and they're getting off. They're like, I'm giving myself 2 years to make it, and if I don't make it in 2 years, I'm out of here. And these are people that are probably like the prom kings and queens from their high schools, you know, from all over the world or this country, and they're not used to the rejection. They're not used to hearing no, and that is a very bitter pill to swallow. So they get here and they're used to always, you know, being on top, and when they come to a place where everybody's the best, you know, this is a place that draws the best looking, the most talented people from all over the world, and so you're up against the very, very best.
I don't know, I felt like I had to be here, and I moved here because there's, you know, Los Angeles has everything: music, acting, the weather. In the early days, I used to work at a place called Lava Lounge. I was the doorman, and I knew the band was starting up, and I had met a lot of promoters and met other bands and networked that way, and so they knew me as a nice guy, as a bouncer. And when I got the band together, I reached out and called in some favors and said, hey, the band's ready, you gonna have us come play? And they did, and a lot of the shows and stuff we do today are
through bartending, through, you know, did some security with Josh Wall, and we, you know, you meet a lot of people, so we've networked that way, and kind of splintered off and made more connections from there.
Less bartending now and more rock and roll,
yeah, trying. And we're both, you know, we've both been bartenders throughout our stay here in LA, so you're just meeting tons of people, and inevitably someone's like, hey, yeah, I'm a promoter, I do this, I do that, and it's networking, it's who you can meet, and when you're the doorman of a place that has live bands, there's, you know, 3 bands coming in 7 days a week, and some of them are cool, some of them are dicks, but you make friends and with the cool ones, and you're networking, and they're like, hey, you got a band? Yeah, come play a show. Or once we got to the point where we were playing out, and people were like, do you have anything recorded? And they kept asking us, you know, do you have anything we can listen to? And we did, and it's like, well, how are you going to be a professional band if you don't have anything? So we're just kind of, I think both of us put some on our credit cards too at the beginning.
I tapped out.
A couple times.
Once Josh and I decided, hey, let's do this. You know, let's get something down solid. You know, do a CD. We both just said, hey, let's buckle down and you know, work. Let's do what we can. Let's bartend. Let's, you know, hard labor, whatever we can do.
I mean, we just felt like we believed in our music, and that was something that we would do whatever it took to get a good product. And
we hustled.
yeah, we work our ass off. I think when I moved here, before I met Mike, I knew I wanted to stay in Los Angeles, and I realized how expensive it was and how difficult. And in my brain, it's like I always had to have a job so that I could stay here to chase my dream. And so I had people that came here and they just thought in 6 months they were going to make it or whatever, and then they don't, and they have to go home with their tail between their legs. And I wanted to make sure that that didn't happen to me, so I just hustled. You know, I would be digging ditches. I'd do, you know, whatever people needed me to do. That's why I picked up that job as a bouncer. Then I started bartending and all that kind of stuff. Just whatever I could do to stay in Los Angeles.
Dancing at the Red Rooster, you know, when you need to.
Yeah, well, that was you. I don't have that skill set, so.
What a fantastic episode of Clingfilm. I certainly am going to change my life after watching that. If you'd like a serious career in the music industry, then continue to watch these episodes. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully we can all learn something together.
There seeps into my blood.